Hi everyone, it's me, April Davis. I'm with April Davis Creations, and I am so sorry that this is a recording and not live. It was intended to be live. I don't know what happened. I started having technical difficulties. It just would not connect to my Facebook. I did get a message earlier today that something had happened with my Facebook. Ray thought that it perhaps was maybe a scam, and so we reported it. I changed my password, and now things aren't working. So I'm hoping that we can get this fixed so that I can continue to do my lives, because I do love doing my lives, and I really wanted to be live with you tonight because I haven't been for the last couple weeks because I've been traveling. But it was a little unsettling, that this had happened. I don't know whether it's because of the scam or because of the password change or what the situation was. But unfortunately, because of that, I'm having to record. So at least I'm with you. It'll be a little bit late, but I am with you. Like I said, I've been traveling the last couple of weeks. A couple weeks ago, I was in Boston for my corporate job. Last week, I was in St. George, Utah with a Stampin' Up group. Had an amazing time. If you were checking out my Facebook page, you saw all the pictures and all the fun that we had. I made so many new friends, and it really was a good time. It was good for my heart. And I'm so excited that in how many more days, like 6 more working days, I will retire, and that's exciting, and then I can do this job full time. So anyway, I wanted to update you on a few things since I wasn't able to do that update last week. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you, and we're just going to do a few quick updates before I actually get to the cards. So the first thing that I want to chat with you about is redeeming your coupons. Last month, for every $50 that you purchased, you got a $5 coupon. You need to be able to redeem those coupons by the end of the month. I'm going to come up and be with you. You need to redeem them. Oops, try it again. There we go. You need to be able to redeem them by the end of the month. If you don't get them redeemed before the end of August, they will not be valid. So I want to remind you that if you're holding off to place an order for whatever the reason is, just make sure you get it placed by the 31st of August. All right, what's next that I want to share with you? The DSP sale. There is a DSP Designer Series paper sale going on right now through the end of the month. 15% off select Designer Series paper. So I'm just going to scroll through here, really quickly. Some of my favorites: Countryside Inn, the Country Woods DSP, the Full of Life DSP that we're using tonight, Mediterranean Blooms, a Perennial Lavender. What are my other favorites? Thoughtful Journey is one of my favorites. Winter Meadow is one of my favorites. So there's a number of sets that are on sale. So if you are interested in stocking up, or you see something here that you're going to be making cards going forward, it may be in bulk, you might consider stocking up on your Designer Series paper. All right, next, we've got a new catalog coming out. It starts September the 4th, so it literally is just around the corner. Very exciting, lots of holiday things in it, things for the fall. If you are one of my customers, you will be receiving a catalog either via the classes that you attend with me, or if you'll just send me a personal message on Facebook and say, "Hey, April, I want my catalog," I will get that to you. If you don't have a demonstrator and you are interested in a catalog, I'm more than happy to share one with you. Just let me know. Send me a personal message, and I will get that information from you, and I can get that out in the mail to you. But this catalog is good now, September the 4th through the end of December. I think it goes into like January 6th or something. So if you need a catalog, let me know, because we're going to start working on a lot of new projects with the catalog. Now, moving on to my website, I just want to give one last plug for the Crafting Crossroads Fusion Fest that Tina and I are doing the end of September. It's September 27th through the 29th. It is techniques galore. I think we've probably got close to 40 different techniques that we're going to be teaching you across a number of different tools and supplies that we're going to be using. You are going to receive approximately $50 in product and tools in your kit. We'll be providing master reference sheets so that you can go back and review your techniques at any given time. We've got fun interactive tutorials, goodie bags, prizes, games, and we've got an exclusive Facebook group. For those of you that have already signed up, you'll get notification for that Facebook group probably next week. And then we'll start working towards just getting you guys all excited because September's just around the corner. I'm saying that because registration closes on September the 1st. And then we'll get the kits shipped out approximately the 13th of September so that you, have them in plenty enough time for the Facebook weekend. Now, what I wanted to tell you about that Facebook weekend as well is that everything is recorded, so you don't have to be present 100% all the time. It is recorded, so you will be able to go in when it's convenient for you to participate in all the various demos that we've got going on. So anyway, plug for that. And then the last thing I want to plug before we get to the cards is the to-go class. This is a to-go class, which means that if you're interested in getting the kit for this class for free, I will send it to you when you place an order in my online store of $40 or more before tax and shipping. And then basically what will happen, you'll use this hostess code that we have right here. That's my key, my signal that you want the to-go class. You'll get all 3 cards times 2. Everything that you need. Now, I am using the Sketched Butterflies bundle, so I'm not going to be doing any stamping or cutting from the Sketched Butterflies bundle. But if you've got that bundle or you've got a similar bundle with butterflies or you think that will work, certainly you can use anything in your library to go along with these kits. But this will be going on through the 26th of August, and then we'll work on the next to-go class. So those are the main things that I wanted to just call out as far as updates. All right, let me come back again. I'm going to try to straighten up. Things got kind of, give me just a second. I'm trying to straighten up my display. Let me see. Take this down, bring this up, take this over. There we go. I'm a little unsettled, I guess, with this thing with Facebook. So recording's fine, but I really was excited. You guys had been commenting on my Facebook post, and so I felt like a number of you were going to be there, and now I'm not there. So, but a couple things that I want to show you before we get started, really just one. But I was playing with one of the kits. We have a brand new kit that's out, and this kit is so fun. This is our haunted house kit. Can you see this haunted house? This is so fun, and it's so big. It sits up like this, so you can't even see all of it. I'm trying to get it in. It's very sturdy, but look how adorable that is. So I had fun getting this put together, and I wanted to share it with you because I just thought it was so cute. And it comes with some fences. I'll try to set these up so you guys can see. It comes with fences, and then it comes with a scary tree as well. So when you're trying to look at it from this perspective, that doesn't really work, does it? Anyway, you can see how it works. It's hard to get into the camera, but this is a cute kit. So all of our kits are out on the online exclusives. You just go out to Stampin' Up and look for online exclusives, and you can find the kits there. And this Halloween kit, this haunted house kit, is one of them. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you because I thought it was so cute. Let's talk about the cards that we're going to be making tonight. This is an extension of the Sketched Butterflies. I did Sketched Butterflies last week, but gosh, there are just so many cute cards that you can make with the Sketched Butterflies. So I decided we're going to do take 2 with the Sketched Butterflies. This time, the only difference is instead of using the Friendly Friends paper or whatever the name of that paper was, I am actually tonight using our In Color DSP. So same sketched butterflies bundle. I just changed up the paper, and we're using a totally different paper tonight. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me see. I'm going to do my peach pie one first. Let me bring this kit over. And we've got a piece of basic white cardstock. I've got a peach pie layer, and basically I made that layer with the deckled rectangle dies. So we cut out that layer. And then I have another layer that we're going to be doing some stamping on. I have a piece of designer series paper that we're going to layer down. I've got my peach pie ribbon that we're going to be utilizing. And let's see, I've got a scrap of basic white that we're going to stamp our butterfly and color with some Stampin' blends on. And then I also have a peach pie label that I've stamped on. I'm using the Spotlight on Nature dies. These are the dies that come with this particular set that have all of the various different circle dies on it. So such a fun set. Even if you're not interested in the stamps, which the stamps are pretty cool too, but if you're not interested in the stamps, the dies are to die for. So we're going to be using Spotlight on Nature dies, and what I've done is I've just taken the sentiment that came in the butterfly, stitched butterflies, thinking of you sentiment, and I just stamped it and went ahead and embossed it just so that I could speed the class up just a little bit so you're not here quite so long. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to get started with the stamping. So I'm going to pull this out, and then I need to pull out some butterflies. I did not pull out the butterflies. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to grab a couple of blocks. Let's see what we've got here. And these butterflies are they're all on one, they're one stamp. So when I go to stamp these, I only have to stamp it once. So I'm going to get a bigger block, and we'll go ahead and put these butterflies down. And then I also am going to stamp not the giant butterfly, but one of the bigger butterflies. And so I'm looking for a bigger block. Are these the same size? Yeah, I'm looking for a bigger block for it. I don't really need a block quite this big, but this will work. I've got a sentiment on the other one. So let's go ahead and pull out our Memento ink. And this is going to be the front of my layer. So I'm just going to go ahead and look at how I want to line my butterflies up, and then I'll color them in. So let's go ahead and get this inked up with my Memento black ink. We're going to be coloring with blends, so I want to make sure that I get it stamped up or inked up well. And I think we're going to go right about here. There we go. And I'll just bring in my Simply Chamois and clean this up quick. Get my ink closed up so I don't get my fingers in it. So we've got that. And then while I'm stamping, I'm going to move this out of the way. We're going to bring this piece back in, and let's go ahead and stamp our butterfly. And then we can color and do some die cutting all at the same time. So getting this inked up well. And then I'm just going to center this in the center since we're going to be cutting it out. There we go. Not very dark. I want it darker. So I'm going to take this. It's not dark enough for me. I'm going to take this and I'm going to ink it up again and do the other side and see if I'm happier with the ink that I have on the other side. So we're going to try again. I want it just to be a little bit darker since I am coloring with blends. And the good news is that there's two sides to every piece of paper. That's much better. I don't know if you guys can see the difference, but it was really light along here. This is much darker. All right, so let's get this cleaned up. I'll pull the blends out real quick and we'll do some coloring. And while we're doing that, I was going to share with you that we did a number of things while we were in St. George. Obviously, it was a time for us to get together and just get to know each other. I'm using the dark peach pie and the light peach pie Stampin' blends. Anyway, we also had a few activities. So one night we went to the Tuacahn Theater and saw Frozen. That was incredible. I was really pleased with that show. So we did that. The theater's beautiful. It's among all the rocks and everything. Kind of like, I've never been to Red Rock in Colorado, but I've heard it's amazing. And I feel like this was maybe similar to that. I mean, obviously different, but similar at the same time. We did that. And then one of the other things that we did, besides just the crafting that we were doing and the game playing that we were doing, we went on a ATV ride on the sand dunes. Now, I have been on an ATV before, like when I was in Hawaii, and had a great time with it. But I will tell you, this ATV ride scared me. I think I got spooked because I wasn't used to riding on sand, and we were on the sand dunes. And so there's not a lot of stability on sand. And I kept thinking that I was going to tip. And so because I thought I was going to tip, I would turn into the tip. And then I would kind of go out of control a little bit. I mean, it just was scary for me. And it was about a 3-hour excursion. And by the time we were in our last half hour or so, I pretty much had mastered it. But it took me that long to get comfortable with it, and which surprised me because I didn't think that I would have any problems. So kudos to all those ladies that were out there just killing it, riding around on those sand dunes and going fast and up and down those hills. And I mean, they didn't seem like it affected them at all. But for me, I just got a little spooked. I thought I was going to fall, and I just kept telling myself, because the guide kept telling me, you're not going to tip, you're not going to tip, you're not going to tip. And so I had to say that over and over and over again as I was leaning in, trying not to tip, that I wasn't going to tip. And I did fine. I did not tip, but it was kind of scary for me. But I'm glad I did it. I'm so glad I did it. It was a lot of fun. And there were thunderstorms all around us. It was crazy because we were on the dunes, but the thunderstorms were in like the canyons, if you want to call them canyons. But anyway, the lightning was crazy. I think you guys might have seen one picture where there's lightning in the background. I'm posing for a picture and there's lightning in the background. And then the thunder was crazy. I love a good thunderstorm. So I wasn't afraid of the rain and the thunder. I was afraid of the sand being soft in my ATV tipping, which didn't happen. But it's still, I had the best time. I'm so grateful that I went. And like I said, I made so many new friends that I'm so excited to continue to get to know better and work with and maybe collaborate with a little bit. All right, so we've got things colored in. We've got our butterfly die cut. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this off to the side, and we're going to start building our card. So bringing back in the card base. I'll get that, looking for my bone folder. We'll get that folded up correctly. Okay. And then I'm going to start putting this together. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our designer series paper down. So let me open this up. I started getting ready for this. I usually start getting ready about 6:30, making sure everything's on. You know, I have all my supplies, my glue's not clogged, all of this. And that's when I started to realize that I was having issues with connecting to Facebook. So I went and got my husband and had him come in and help me. And up until the time that I was supposed to go live, we still weren't able to get it to work. So anyway, I might be just a little bit discombobulated because it caught me off guard. if you will. All right, I think what I'm gonna do in order to save ribbon, and I've done this before and you guys have seen me do it, is I'm gonna take this ribbon and I'm going to leave enough on each end to be able to turn it under. And then I'm just gonna take some of my Scotch tape. Go ahead and turn this. I'm gonna take a piece of Scotch tape and I'm gonna tape down this side. And then I will take this end, tape down this side. And then after I get my butterfly down, we'll tie our bow. But I wanted to get this down before I actually put down, let's see if I get that straight. Now we'll put it down on our layer of peach pie cardstock that's been cut with our deckled edges dies. So we'll go ahead and get that done. I know I mentioned it earlier, but I'm so excited. Tomorrow's Friday, and then I have one more week. One more week, and I will officially be retired. And I've got so many things planned that I want to do with my Stampin' Up! Business. So I think I have like a little mark here. I don't know if this is ink or not, so I'm going to first start with my regular eraser, and that doesn't seem to be working. So now I'm going to take my mono sand eraser, and you guys probably can't even see it, but I can see it. So I just want to clean this up just a little bit. Oh, that was perfect. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take dimensionals, and I'm going to use some of the dimensionals that I've used up this sheet. Whoop! Did you guys see what I was doing? Dad, I was cutting with my ribbon snips. I always keep a separate pair of snips for my ribbon because paper dulls your scissors and it makes it really difficult to cut ribbon. And I use a lot of ribbon and I like a nice sharp snip. So I put a ribbon on the end of it so that I know that this is strictly for cutting ribbon, but I accidentally picked it up. Oops. So, but I caught myself real quick. So I'm just using my leftover dimensionals. I don't want to waste them. They're just the edges. So I'm just like, okay, well, we'll go ahead and we'll just put these dimensionals down this way, and it's going to pop it up. So we're going to go ahead and we'll pull these off. And I'm probably, since I want to make sure that I get this centered correctly, how do I want to say this? Centered averse. I don't know what that means. It means I can't center very well. You know, I have to have a little bit of wiggle room. So what I do is I take my glue. This glue is not for the purposes of gluing down this layer because the dimensionals are very sticky, and so they're just fine. But I just need a little bit of wiggle room. So if I put a little bit of glue on my dimensionals, then I have a bit of wiggle room, if you will, so that if I don't get it down quite straight to start, I can work on it. We're going to be opening this from the top. I needed to make sure that I had this opening the right way. I'm looking at this. Looks like I'm a little high on this end, so I'm going to have to pick it up just a tad, but at least it's not sticking down tight. And then I don't lay it down very tight either, or I don't press it down until I'm sure where I've got it where I want it to be. So I think I'm getting close to where I want it to be. That looks good. So we're going to press. All right. Now we're going to take our butterfly, and I'm going to bring in some more dimensionals. Let's see. Got some right here, and my tweezers, and my beautiful butterfly that I stamped on the back side too. So let's get some of this down, and we'll go ahead and I'm going to use my take your pick. Do I have my take your pick out here? I guess I'll use this one. I don't know where my other one is. I took a lot of supplies with me when I went to St. George, and I've unpacked, but I didn't perhaps get them all in the right place. But we had a crafting morning, and that was a lot of fun. And I'm actually planning on, I loved what we did, so I'm planning on making a class, a special class out of what we did. So I'll be sharing that all with you guys in the next few weeks. And then I'm going to take some ribbon and I'm just going to tuck it up underneath here, and I'm going to pull up maybe about that much. Go ahead and snip that so that we can get our little knot tied. So I'm going to go ahead and get the knot tied. See, it wants to go this way, so I'm going to let it. So I've got a bit of a knot. And then I'm going to snip off the ends. We're going to tuck that one underneath here in just a second. We'll go this way with this one. See how easy that cuts? I'm going to tuck that up underneath the butterfly's wings. So we've got that. And then the last thing that we're going to do, well, not the last thing, second to the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add our sentiment. So I'm just going to put a couple dimensionals on the sentiment and get it ready to go. And we will place it right up here in this open space. Thinking of you. So we've got that. And then I'm going to bring in the 2024-2026 in color shimmer gems. I'm using a couple different kinds of gems tonight. They're both in color, but these are the shimmer gems. So I'm going to take, oh, I don't have my sticky part of my take your pick, so I'm going to go ahead and we'll just use the pointy end. Get one up here. One right. Whoops. Let me see. Is it gonna? Yep. There we go. And then we'll get a big one, and we'll put the big one right down about here. Okay. So here we go. Get my mess out of the way, and we've got card number 1 created. Isn't that pretty? And gosh, these were so easy. These butterflies, lots and lots of fun. Okay, so let's move this out of the way, and we're going to bring in card number 2. And card number 2 is going to be our Pretty in Pink card. So let me grab that kit. Move my stuff out of the way so I've got room to work. We've got basic white cardstock. I've got a layer of Pretty in Pink. I also have some designer series paper in Pretty in Pink. And basically what I did with this one is I cut it down one size just to go layer, just with a tad bit showing on each side. So it's just like 1/8 of an inch smaller. But then I cut an inch off. And what I'll do is I'll flip that over, and then we're going to use our Pretty in Pink ribbon to cover up that line. I've got a banner that I've cut from, you guessed it, our Stylish Shape dies. It's going to be this banner right here. We use the Stylish Shape dies. And then I also have stamped and cut, let me see, I stamped my butterflies, but I left one that I'm going to color. And then I cut my squares from the Stylish Shape as well. So these come from the Stylish Shapes. So we've pretty much got everything done. I need to do a little bit of coloring, and this time I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Blends. This is the Pretty in Pink, so I'm using all of the end colors, and I'm going to just do a little bit of coloring here, and then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get these die cut. So I'm using, I believe, the dark. Oh, this is the light. Okay, well, we're going to go opposite of what I did before. So this is the light, so I'm gonna no method to my madness, just doing my thing here. And then we'll bring some dark in. The butterflies are fun. They're sketched, and so it's almost because they're sketched. There's no like real precision to it. It's intended to look drawn, if you will. So I'm just adding my color here. Okay. And I think I want a little bit more dark here, so I'm going to go ahead and do dark there. All right, that looks good. I like my butterflies. So let's go ahead and pull out the dies for these butterflies. So we already had the big butterfly die out. So I've already got that one there. And then these, you've got the butterflies where you can do a whole butterfly like what you've stamped, or you're going to see, actually I did it on the last to go that I did, the first one I did, you can cut out a solid butterfly and then you can cut out the detail of the butterfly. And I layered all of those. And then this, well, I'll show you when we get to the next card. I'm jumping ahead of myself. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna get some tape and we'll go ahead and get these butterflies down, and maybe I can run these all through together at the same time, maybe. So we'll get that one down, and then if I can find my tape again, I'm going to take my snips and I'm just gonna cut this off. Actually, I can't run this one through because it uses the same die as this one does. So I'm looking to see where my tape, oh, here it is, where my tape went. At least I can run these two through. All right, so we'll get this one down too, and then we'll just have one more that we'll have to do after this. So let me move this stuff out of the way. Bring my cut and emboss back in. Looking for my plates, my little sandwich. So we'll go ahead and put this down. Crank. Oops, I want to make sure it's completely on the plate. All right, crank this through. I'm backing this out just a little bit because it looks like this little one moved, and I might not need to worry about it, but I think I got the first one. I think I got this first one cut. I just want to make sure that I've got it aligned correctly, and it did look like it moved. And so I just don't want to have a lot of white. So what happens when you have a lot more white than you want? Then you fussy cut around it and you can cut that white away. But I actually saw it before it went through, so I decided I wanted to fix it before I actually die cut it. All right, so let's take this off. Being very careful with my tape so I don't tear anything. There we go. So here we've got this butterfly. And then, oh, you know, I put that up and I still have one more butterfly to cut. You guys knew that, right? All right, so we got that one. Let me get this out of the way. Put the big one back. And let's get this one lined up and we'll get it cut. Thought I was done cutting. I forgot about this little one. All right, here we go again. Cranking this one through. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's start building our layers. We're going to take this one first. And go ahead and put some glue on the back side of this. And I'm just going to, I mean, literally, it's just like 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to get that layered down. Make sure I have got it centered. Then we'll take this one and we're going to flip it over. It's from the same piece. We just cut off 1 inch. Flip it over because we've got two-sided designer series paper and it's color coordinated. It works out perfect. So I'm just going to line this up. Get it lined up here. There we go. And then we're going to do the same thing with ribbon that I did with the peach pie. Take my little pin out and we're going to take a bit of ribbon right through here, and I'm going to use my snips. We'll cut that off. We'll get that lined up. And again, I do this just to save ribbon. I don't necessarily then have to go all the way around the back to tie things. So let me grab my tape again. I think I have it right here. There's a lot of real estate on the back that nobody's going to see. So rather than use ribbon across the back, I make it look like it was across the back, and we just do it this way. So I'm going to line that up. And then let's go ahead and get this folded up. Pull that out of the way. And we'll get this layered down. And it's going to open this way. So I'm going to layer down this way. Isn't that pretty? I just love this pretty and pink color. All right. Scribbling my glue down. We'll get that aligned appropriately. Pull this up. Just make sure everything's, that looks good. Yep, that looks good. All right. I'm going to set this off to the side for just a second because we've got one more piece of stamping that we need to do, and then we'll finish building out the rest of it. I'm pulling out my pretty and pink ink. Everything's coordinated, and we're going to stamp You Brighten Up So Many of My Days. So I'm going to bring the banner over here, just tapping to get ink. And then if my head gets in the way, I'm so sorry. We're going to go ahead and get this lined up right here. Nice. Okay, let's clean this off. And then we'll close this up. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start building our diamonds. We're going to take our squares and we're going to make diamonds out of them. And I'm going to put the first one down. So that'll be the first one. And I'm going to put it on dimensionals. So find my dimensionals that I had here and my tweezers. And I'm just going to put one at the top. I'm going to put, this is a big one, so I'm going to put one in each of the four corners on this one. It's the first one down, so I can do that. Let me see. I'm looking for my Take Your Pick. I put it over here. Oh, there's my other one. Yay. Okay. It has a smaller, I'll show you here in just a second. The other one works fine, but can you see the difference in the picks? This one's got a really, really long pick. This one's got a shorter pick. And it's just the tools, the various tools that come with your Take Your Pick. But I like the shorter pick when I'm working with my dimensionals. So let me go ahead and get this down. And I'm going to center it right in the middle. I hope. We're going to put it right here. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll take the next one and I'm going to put dimensionals again, just at the top and at the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and do this one at the same time. Top and bottom. Okay. And then we'll get these off. And we're going to turn them. Oop, it's going to stick to my glass mat. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up. And I've got to make sure that I stay on my paper. So I'm bringing it up about as far as, or taking it out as far as I can go. I need to turn it because I wanted my dimensionals at the top and I got turned. So let me go ahead and get this centered down the way that I want it. Good. And then we'll just go ahead and pick those off. I want the dimensionals at the top and the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and center this one up here off to the edges over the top. Okay, now we bring in the butterflies. So I am going to put dimensionals on the back of my butterfly. And since my butterfly is going to be going off, I'm gonna try to keep the dimensionals towards the inside of the butterfly. I just want to make sure that I get plenty of stability. Again, I'm probably using way more dimensionals than are needed. I just like stability, and so I choose to use more dimensionals, but you do not have to use so many dimensionals. So it's kind of like, if you want to do as I do, you can, but you don't have to. So let's go ahead and get this butterfly centered right in the middle here. Very good, very stable. And then I can go ahead and I'm actually, let me see, because these, I'm going to use 2 dimensionals on these. And then I'm going to do this one as well on the wings. So we've got this. I'll go ahead and pick that off. And I'm going to do this one at the same time. Pick those off. And then we can place these butterflies. Oh, so pretty, so pretty. So we've got one there. And then we've got another one right here. Yay. Okay, so now we've got our butterflies placed. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a few dimensionals to the back of my sentiment. I'm going to put one on this end here, and I am going to use 3 because I don't want middle sag. And so we'll do that. Get the backs off. And then we'll go ahead and we'll set our sentiment up right here. I want to get it lined up probably right. I'm not going to push it down. I just want to make sure it's straight. Looks straight. Oh, it was straight. Hopefully I didn't mess it up. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our ribbon again. I'm going to thread it through, look for my ribbon snips, and I'm going to pull probably right about here. And we're going to just do another knot. Let's see which way this one wants to go. Sometimes it kind of dictates the way that it wants to turn, so we'll see. Whoops, I lost the end. One more time. I'm working with a little piece, but I didn't need a big piece. But I need to be able to get a hold of it at least. There we go. All right, it looks like it wants to go this way. So we'll let it go ahead and go that way. And then I'm going to take my snips and snip off this end. And then we'll snip off this end as well. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to do, just for stability purposes, is I'm going to take my little mini dots, and I'm just going to take one off with my take your pick, and I'm going to tuck it underneath. Sorry, I got a little bit of an extra one here. I'm going to tuck it up underneath my bow, my knot of my knot, and that will just kind of hold it in place, so I don't have to worry about it moving around. And then the last thing I'm going to do is, I was telling you that we've got several different kinds of dots or gems and the in colors. These are the shimmer gems, and then I've got basically the in color resin dots. So I'm going to use the resin dots on this particular one, and I'm going to take a big one and we'll put the big one right here. Take a little one. I'll put another little one right here maybe, and then I'm going to do a little one right here. Okay, so we've got those on, and we have now completed card number 2. Gosh, isn't it so pretty? I get done with these cards and I'm just like, oh my goodness, another pretty card. All right, are you ready for card number 3? This one we're not using ribbon, but we are going to be doing some embossing. So this was a fun one as well. Let me show you what this kit is. Again, the basic white cardstock. Basic white cardstock is a staple. Now, when I'm using the basic white cardstock for my bases, I'm using the thick cardstock. I don't use the cardstock, the layering cardstock. I use the thick. So this is a piece of thick basic white cardstock. Then I took the Summer Splash in color and I embossed the Summer Splash with the Cute Crochet 3D embossing folder. Can you guys see that? The design in that? I'm gonna see if you can see it here as well. It's such a pretty design. So anyway, I'm utilizing that. Then I have a piece of basic black, a layering piece of basic white, and then basically what I did is I used the designer series paper, but I didn't want to waste this, and so basically I'm just flipping it over, and this is going to be my piece for this one. And then we also have the butterflies that I cut, and then I've got these other butterflies that I'm going to share with you. So we're going to put all these together. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. And the first thing I want to do is I want to stamp. So I'm going to stamp thank you in the Memento Black ink. I'm going to do it up here in the upper left-hand corner. So we'll go ahead and get that stamped, and then we can start building this card out. So I'm going to just put thank you right up here. There you go. That looks good. Clean this stamp off. Alrighty. And the next thing that we'll do is we'll take this piece and we're going to adhere it down. Most of this card is just layering. Very little stamping, obviously. And then the butterflies, of course, were die cut. I just went ahead and did those ahead of time so that you guys wouldn't have to watch me die cut all these pieces, but you see me do it lots of times. So this just kind of helps me build the card a little bit quicker for you. So we've got that down, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece and we're going to layer it down on our basic black. I love this color combination. The black with the Summer Splash is just so pretty. All right, so let's get this down. Making sure I got that centered. Looks good. All right. Okay, now we're going to put dimensionals on the back of this. We're going to get it prepped. It's not going down yet, but we're going to get it prepped. So I'm going to put some dimensionals back here. And then I'll put one right here. Set that off to the side. Now we've got our card base. So we'll go ahead and get the card base folded up. Use our phone folder to get it creased appropriately. Okay, then we're going to take our beautiful layer of Summer Splash that's been embossed with that Cute Crochet 3D embossing folder. And this is the side I want it. All right, make sure it's opening up the right direction. Get this down. Not bad, not bad. Centering it up appropriately. Good deal. So now what we'll do is we'll take this piece and put it down, and then we'll start adding all of our butterflies. Okay. So just to give me a little bit of wiggle room, you don't have to do this. If you can, get it down right the first time, then you don't need to worry about that. And sometimes I forget, but Usually when I forget, then it's like, oh, I wish I hadn't forgot because I didn't get that down right. But gosh, I actually kind of did really good there. Yep, I'm happy with that. All right, let me show you. So these butterflies, the dies come in one long die. It's this one. And so you get 3 butterflies. So what I did is I cut the butterflies twice. I cut them in Summer Splash, and then I also cut them in Basic Black. And then I layered them together and I offset it just a tad to give it some highlight, if you will. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this first set of butterflies and I'm going to glue them down. So I'm looking to see where I need to put glue, and literally I'm just doing like little dots of glue here and there. Just doing little dots of glue. Make sure I get most of it down. We can fix it if we need more. What I'm doing is I'm double checking to make sure that I've got the butterflies. Some of it's going off of the edge of the paper, and so I don't want any glue going off of the edge of the paper. So now I can put these guys down. This one's going off right here, so I made sure I didn't have any glue there. And now I've got these, and what we're going to do is the same exact thing that we did with the others. I've got these cut, one black, one Summer Splash, and I'm just going to take these and I'm going to glue them down, but I'm going to offset them just a tad. So basically what I'll do is I'll take my glue and I'll put it on just one of them. Just a few little dots here and there, a few little dots here and there. Not a lot. You can see I don't have a lot of glue on here. You don't need a lot of glue. And then I'm just going to lay this down so that there's a bit of an offset. Not a big one, just a little bit of one, just so you can see a little bit of the black coming through. Okay, so that one we've got done. I'm going to do the exact same thing to this one. So a little bit more glue. Okay, we'll do the same thing. Just a tiny bit of an offset. Okay, once we've done that, now what we can do is we can take the rest of these and put them down. So I'll put some more glue on the back of this one. Glue, glue, glue. And we will put this one down right about here. Make sure it sticks. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Now this one is going to be going off just a little bit. So I really don't need to put any glue on the outer edges. So I'll keep this one to the inside and then the center and then not very much, just a little bit. And then we'll go ahead. I didn't do the outer edges there. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually kind of maybe just overlap that just a little bit like this. Okay. Actually, I want to pull this wing up. There we go. Nice. Such pretty butterflies. So pretty, pretty. Okay, I'm going to bring back the shimmer gems. And let's go ahead and put some shimmer gems down. So let me pull this out of the way. So we'll do a little shimmer gem here and here. And then we'll put some down on them. Normally I do like 3. This one I went a little rogue with and decided to do a few more. I still don't do them kind of in my little triangle if I can, but do it like that. Oh, so, so pretty. And there you go. Now we have card number 3 completed. So pretty. All right, here we go. There's card number 3, pretty in pink. Card number 2, using all of the 2024, 2025 in color, 2026 in colors. And then we've got our peach pie cards. So again, this is a to-go class. I'm going to come back up and see you guys for just a second to say goodbye. But this is a to-go class. So if there is, if you are interested in getting this kit for free, go out to my website. My website is aprildaviscreations.com. Gives you all the information that you need. And if you use the host code, then I will know that you want the kit. And I will cut you everything that you see here. The only thing that I won't do is I won't die cut or stamp anything that comes from the bundle, the stitched butterfly or sketched butterflies bundle. But like, for example, the little label here, I will cut that for you. You'll have to do your own stamping on that. I will cut this for you. I will cut this for you. Anything that's not part of the bundle, you can't see it. Sorry. I'm talking about this label right here. I thought you guys could see it. Anyway, anything that's not part of the bundle, I will be doing for you. Also, remember to use your bonus points, your coupons if you haven't used those yet. DSP sales still ongoing, 15% off select DSP through the end of the month. And also Crossroads, our Fusion Fest technique class, the end of September. Registration for that ends September the 1st. So if you're interested, now's the time to get registered for that. And I think that's all. I'm sorry that this is a recording and not live. I hope that we can get this Facebook issue figured out, but in the meantime, at least I was able to create these cards for you and show you how beautiful they are. So, and I will see you hopefully live next week, and you guys have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.